Hello, my name is Stephen York. I am the pastor of the United Methodist Church in Stonington, Maine. In today's sermon, I'm preaching on the power of loving relationships. St. Paul tells us that beyond faith or doctrinal creeds or all the gifts that we may have that define our lives, the most important of all is the gift of love. I trust this morning as you listen to this message, in a time when it's so easily to be divided in our thinking as a culture, as a country, that we will all remember that it is love, faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love. I invite you into our sanctuary this morning to hear this timely message on this powerful subject. Thank you for watching. There are many things in life that we do not know. The more I live on this earth, notice I didn't say grew older. The more I realize how much life is full of questions. For many centuries, the church has often taken a position that they know exactly where God is on all subjects at hand. And people go to great extreme at times to pull texts out of the Bible and say, God thinks this, or God said that. Now, I don't know if you have ever played that game as a child where, I think it's called Secret or something, and someone starts in a circle and you say something, and by the time it gets to the end of the circle, generally, if it's a good group, the story is greatly embellished or changed from the original. We do not have the original documents that Paul or Moses or anyone else wrote on. Much of what we have in the Bible came to us through oral tradition. Even the stories of the Gospels were written within 100 years after Jesus had died and was resurrected. I think this morning that it is important for us to know, as you already know in your life, that it is possible to take something that one has said and misrepresent the context and the meaning in which that was spoken. We can make words work to our advantage when it's convenient and we are given to be manipulative. And so many people of faith this morning are sure, as they sit in pews around the nation and world, of where God stands on every living subject on the planet. And they can pull out something out of any Bible book and make it so. I told you the story, I think, about the fellow who played Bible roulette, opened the Bible, point to a verse, must be God's will. So one day he opened the Bible to get his guidance for the day, and his finger landed on, and Judas hung himself. And he said, well, I don't really think that God was saying that to me. So he shut the book and said, I think I just must have mispointed. I'll try it again. And he opened the book again and pointed to a verse and looked at it, and it said, go and do thou likewise. He ignored it. And justifiably so. But my point is to this morning, people can manipulate the Bible. People can misinterpret the Bible. And even people of faith who really want to do the right thing in our lives can sometimes misunderstand what's in the book. I'm not going to take a long time this morning to talk about how we got the Bible, how the oral tradition became written tradition. I'm not going to go into a lot of church history on a council meeting after council meeting in the early centuries of the church, where people voted on what was actually God's word and what was not. But the book that we have today is the Bible, has one theme that I find is consistent. And for me, it is the sum of my faith. And that is in the universality of God's love. That throughout the Bible, and all the stories of the Bible, the panorama of the Bible is about God loving people. Now, there are some terrible texts in the Bible. There are texts in which it appears that God is really angry with some people. But I want to ask you a question, and please don't answer this, but just think about it. Have you ever loved people and gotten angry with them at the same time? Have you ever had moments when you said things that you regretted? Well, I could take you to the verses in the Bible where God himself said, I wish I hadn't done that or said that. Our understanding of God is very anthropomorphic. And we can project on God many things, but the one thing that I am sure about the story of the Bible, both in the Hebrew Scriptures and in the Christian Scriptures of the New Testament, is that God is ultimately love.